Whenever you're in a contact, a property, you can go into the photo manager area and click on the add photo. It now automatically brings you into the selection process. If you are not if you're just wanting to paste in a URL, you can hit cancel and put in the URL of a photo. But if you've got the images saved somewhere, you can now select multiples. Whenever you select multiples and open it, it will start uploading those images one at a time into the system and building out a connection for each one of those. Go through this process real quick. And then instead of just showing one at a time, we now have a full list of each of the photos. Whenever you're in this, you can click on the little Analyze with AI, and it will find the type, what type of photo or type of location is it. Is it the bedroom, the bathroom, or whatever? So you can pick those. If you guys don't have those filled out, you can click on the little gear at the top on what types that you want. By default, it may only have the hero and a few. I think I did default in some of these. So some of these may be in your system, but if you need to add other ones, just add type. And if you want to edit or delete other ones, you can certainly do that. But what it does is, based off of the type of photo, it will try to analyze it and figure out what type is it. It'll come up with the title and the description. So if I click on individually for an individual one, I can just click on this Analyze with AI. If I want to do all of them, I can just click on Analyze All. And then it starts going through the process of analyzing that photo one by one in the list and fills out the information. So in this case, this is an interior photo. Elegant open concept living / kitchen area. It tried to figure out best of what it is, the sophisticated open concept space, beautifully merged to a cozy living room. So it tries to come up with a good description of that. So it goes through each one of these very quickly using AI to be able to come up with that information. Now, the advantage of this is that each one of these photos, as they are being analyzed, and I click on the Save All, then it takes the photo, it links it to the property, it puts in all the descriptions and stuff. I could have deleted any of those if I didn't want some of them. I could have gone in there and deleted. In this case, I chose all 5, so it put all 5 in. But what this does then is this identifies that same information. The type is listed here, and then the title. If you guys click on the photo itself, it will go into a slideshow, and this description piece is shown down here at the bottom. I can change the speed at which these are shown. So 5 seconds, 10 seconds, or 3 seconds are the different options. This is useful if you're doing an open house. For those people that are still doing open houses, you can have it go through a slideshow. There's an option here to go into full screen mode. So if I go full screen, then it shows the entire thing and just kind of rotates through each of them for whatever speed that you've specified. Click on the cancel to stop that. You can pause the slideshow itself and then just manually move from record to record. So you can go backwards and forwards through the system. Once you're done with the photos, then you can just hit back and it brings you back to it. Now, that's one thing that you can do with this. The other thing is in the listing side of this, whenever you're gathering the listing description information, I can come over here and click on Let Sam create it for you. And then it will create some of the content from those saved photos and build out this information based off of what my objective is. So it can use any of these photos. If I didn't want to use a certain photo description, I could delete it. If I have if I want to save a certain prompt so that I can bring it back up and use it over and over again, say, new listing in Fremont area. Maybe there's some special things that I want to do where the objective is about Fremont or whatever. I can click on save, and then I would be able to use that over and over and over again. If I click on OK, then you'll see the little busy signal there, and then it uses the photos to also incorporate some of the information on the property detail. If your MLS requires a certain number of characters, where you're limiting the number of characters that you want, you can click on the little plus here and say, well, I need this to be under 400 characters, and then generate. So what it will do is take this description and it will find the key elements or the key indicators of that, and then be able to create one that's 400 characters or less. I can then take that, I can edit that if I want, I can copy that, I can then put that into my MLS. So it just kind of helps you do that. But those photos are included whenever I'm doing this piece. So there's a couple purposes of having those photos well defined. The hero is always the main photo, but that way we've got all the information and stuff to that particular photo.
I know you mentioned I have what is it called? Gamma connector already.
Gamma,
Gamma, and you mentioned before they were able to create some marketing pieces through Gamma.
Exactly. So that you're right. That's the other purpose of those photos. So whenever you're sending Gamma, if you guys are using Gamma, there's a link for you guys to click on where you can get an account through us, and I think it lets you build up to 400 credits, which would be, you can do about 10 different presentations and stuff with that. What it will do is it will take the information from your property, the property details itself, numbers of bedrooms, bathrooms, stuff like that. This one really doesn't have much. And actually, let me go back one here to one that I've already built, to memory lane, I think I've done. So it will use the property details, some of the location information. It'll use the listing information that you've provided, and then you can click on send to Gamma. Whenever you do that, you can choose what type of presentation do I want to create. Do I want to create a listing presentation where it's got listing details, or more of a CMA where it does some comparison of other properties and stuff with it? You can do some research using Manus, another integration that we do where it can bring in that information and compare properties as well. Once you've submitted all of this, then it will take the photos, the details and stuff, it submits it to Gamma, and then they will build out the details on that. So if I go over here to files, I might have a Gamma presentation that takes that photo, takes the property information, other details, other photos, and builds a pretty presentation from that. You can go in, change the themes, you can change how they look in different ways. The more detail that you want, the better it can be. So there's lots of really cool things that you can use those photos within Gamma as well.